And we are live. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending where you are on the planet. Welcome to Channeling and Stranger Things. And we thought you might like a sign because signs that we often glibly ask the universe for are sometimes come in disguise or not quite in the package that we had anticipated.
Well, we haven't actually introduced ourselves.
Oh no,
yet,
we haven't, have we?
No, we haven't.
I tell you what, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm not sure I can remember my name today, but I'll have a good try. I'm Sarah Sandsmith, hypnotherapist and channeler, and with me is
Penny Dix, astrologer and channeler. And hi, Mystic Road, Rosie 1111, Poonam, good to see you. Yes. Well, how are you all? And do you need a sign about anything in particular today? Because what we've done actually is we've collated some information about signs in general, because I think sometimes we go, give me a sign to the universe, give me a sign, give me a sign. Hi, Mimi, good to see you here. And then we look so hard, often we miss it. And so Sarah and I have spent quite a bit of time discussing this and looking for signs for ourselves for situations as they arise in our own lives.
Which happened 2 hours ago.
Which happened 2 hours ago.
Yes.
What sort of sign was that?
Well, I don't know. I need a sign.
You need a sign. So
Yeah.
Sarah needs a sign. So if anyone can give Sarah a sign, we are open to your input here. So let's just run through the various types of energies which come through with signs. Then we have got, tonight we're using the pendulum, because with the wands, sometimes I'm a little worried that Sarah's going to have my eye out.
And yeah. This is a little bit safer, I feel. Less threatening, isn't it?
Yes, it's a little bit, yes, because I don't really want to have a squiffy eye. Hi, Scene G. Hello. Please, can you know if you will lose my arm or hand after a bad accident? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Gosh. Oh my God.
Do we want to go into the pendulum right away then? And
well, let's just answer that for you. But we're actually going to come to the answers or the signs that you're looking for a little bit later. But we will answer that for you.
So please show me a yes. Okay. Thank you, pendulum. Please show me a no. Okay.
So that's swaying in and out, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, so the question is...
So Sini has had a bad accident. I'm so sorry to hear that. How traumatizing. And she wants to know whether she might lose her arm or her hand.
Okay. Right. We'll see me lose her arm or hand. Oh, hang on. It started to go yes, and now it's going no. So I think that might mean that possibly it's going to be a long road to recovery, but you're going to be okay, I think.
And it looks like you're telling me your name's Sinead.
All right.
So there we go.
Okay.
Sinead.
Okay, Sinead.
I think,
so yeah, I think you're going to be okay, Sinead. I mean, I think it kind of went yes first of all, but then very quickly changed to a sharp no. So I think maybe it's going to look a little bit dodgy for a bit, but I think you're going to be okay. So that's good news.
Whew. That sounds so traumatic. So we're going to go through these little headlines of the kind of signs that we can look for. The most obvious one is something called synchronicity, which I'm sure you're all aware of, which is when two seemingly two events that seem to be meaningful in some way happen at the same time. They coincide. So synchronicity can be like you're talking about something completely random, and then something happens and that person or that topic comes up. So that synchronicity is often a way to point us in a direction that may make sense of a situation we are trying to uncover. Do you have anything you want to say about synchronicity?
Yeah, I mean, it can be just something incredibly random, like you think about a person and then suddenly, and somebody you've not spoken to for a long time, and suddenly they contact you, or you're thinking about a certain song and it comes on the radio, or something like that. I mean, that happens loads.
We had that when we were looking for George.
Oh, we did, yes. When we were looking for George Chin, the ginger cat, and he went missing. The Journey song from the 1980s, Don't Stop Believing, was everywhere. If we went into the pet store to buy pet food, it was playing. Siri started randomly playing it. We'd go into the supermarket and it was playing. It was everywhere. I'd switch on the TV, it would be playing, and it was just constantly in our heads. And that actually became his sort of theme tune, and it became very meaningful. And I think the other one that kept cropping up was Hold On by Wilson Phillips.
Hold on for one more day.
Hold on for one more day, things will go your way, I think are the lyrics.
Maybe that's your sign.
I don't know. It'll start playing in a moment. But yeah, I mean, that also kept cropping up, and they both became sort of very significant and meaningful. And I think that was a really good example of the sort of synchronicity that we had with the universe in terms of the search for George, which was, of course, ultimately successful.
Yes. And then there's obviously strong intuition and gut feelings, because sometimes we just have a knowing. We just know something is either going to be okay or not okay. So that is, there can be something that is quite disruptive, but we actually have a really good sense of peace about it, which can be our sign that don't worry about it. This is actually okay, whatever that might be. Sometimes we need to quieten the mind. Often our mind gets in the way. Now, as a hypnotherapist, you will understand this.
Exactly. And I think that there is often the temptation to actually dismiss a gut feeling as a sort of reaction. And then you actually use your mind to overrule that. You try to rationalize the gut feeling and actually try to override that. And I know personally, every time that I have actually overridden a gut feeling, that has been a bad decision. And things, And I've looked back on it, and it's been very much, you have two paths you could take: the gut feeling or the rationalized feeling. And the rationalized feeling is the one that you've talked yourself into and convinced yourself is the right path. The gut feeling is the one which is right for you. That's the path you should have taken.
I tell you what's just come into my mind is the wonderful example you've given us before, which is when you just knew to stop and have a conversation with someone, and it meant you avoided being in a bomb going off in Thailand. And that was extraordinary. And it's those kind of synchronicities, intuitive gut feelings that we think, no, I think it's better I don't go yet, or stay this way. I think the difficulty, and I don't know what you think, Sarah, is that sometimes if we are very concerned or worried about things, our mind can get in the way and overthink things so that we can't actually sense what is a true gut feeling and what is just a paranoid thought. That's quite hard sometimes to separate out. And in those situations, I think we need to be able to see if we can calm ourselves and ask the divine, the universe, God, whatever your name is for God, to show you the way, to show you a sign that is meaningful. So, for instance, dreams and symbols are a sign. Now, you were saying you've been seeing lots of little pennies on the ground lately.
I have. I've been picking up, well, not pennies actually. They're 1 cent, aren't they, over here?
Not me.
No. God, no, I couldn't pick you up.
Not that fat.
No, it's especially with my back.
Oh, yes, your back. Yes, fair enough.
But we digress. I'm having my spine realigned at the moment by a miracle worker on Malta. So I'm not allowed to lift anything over 1 kilo at the moment. I think Penny's certainly over 1 kilo.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm several kilos. Yes. You forgot what you were going to say. It was about picking up cents.
Yeah, 1 cent. Yes. So obviously there is that superstition that if you find a nice new looking coin on the ground, a penny or whatever, you should pick it up.
Mm.
So I've been getting funny looks from people recently for picking
Probably
one
right.
cent off the ground, which is obviously not very much money at all. And I think, God, she must be poor. I'm doing it because of the superstition, and I'm thinking, gosh, this is a really good sign. And the other sign is feathers. I've been seeing a lot of feathers lately, floating down or on the ground in front of me.
What do you feel that is representing for you in particular? Is it?
I think the normal representation, when it's a sort of white or grey feather, I mean, people say, it's angels are around, but I've always taken it to mean that, yes, you're on the right path.
Yes.
So, you are on the right track. So it's validation. I think a lot of the time when people ask for signs that they are on the right track, it is often a feather which appears.
Yes. And I've noticed if my mother is in my mind or is trying to connect with me from the other side, I often see a butterfly. And I remember our mutual friend Lee telling me about butterflies can often represent the departed souls, or a butterfly will appear when a loved one who has passed over is trying to connect. Mystic Road, you found $1. Fantastic.
Ooh.
Yes, we're going through all of these Mystic Road dreams, everything. I had a dream which was like a vision dream many, many years ago. Well, not that long ago, about 12 years ago. And very, very quickly, this dream, there was a very wise old man in the dream whom I didn't have any clue who it was. It was just a wise looking old man. And I think I was going through a particularly challenging time. I was a full-time carer for my mother who was disabled. And in this dream, I was sitting at his feet and he just looked at me very intently with these amazing dark eyes that seemed to go on forever, and just said, "Everything will be all right." And he said that 3 times. And from that day forward, it's always stayed with me in a sense that if I'm not in a good place, that dream vision comes back to me, so that I just think, no, actually, everything's fine. Everything will be all right. Everything is as it should be. And so dreams are often a way. We can have prophetic dreams, as you know. And, with a lot of the sort of the difficulties that have happened on the planet over the years, you find out later that various people have had dreams about, well, not catching a flight, for example, or I don't really want to go into that because I don't want to, but it's too fresh. But, we may hear stories like that come out. And well, I suppose actually, if we do think about the Air India flight, and, God rest all their souls, and, the most dreadful accident, but the guy sitting in the seat 11A who walked away from it. And 11 is a master number. And that's something else we're going to talk about just briefly, about the value of numbers, the vibration of numbers. I'm sure a lot of you know about numerology. Neither Sarah or I are particularly experts. We've just done a little bit of quick research just to bring you the sort of bullet points about numerology for those of you that don't know about it. But I think these vivid dreams that stick with us are meaningful. And there's another one, which is obstacles and delays. If you are delayed, maybe the delay is timely. If something doesn't seem to be happening the way you want it to or expect it to, then perhaps there's a very good reason for that. And that actually trying to push something to happen or force yourself to make an important appointment is not what you're meant to be doing. And so it's, I've tried through the years to operate from a position of, if I'm not meant to be there, then I'm not meant to be there. Or if I'm meant to miss this train, then I'm meant to miss this train for whatever reason that may be. Have you had any experiences like that with travel, for instance?
Just trying to think. I think the experience, well, yes, I suppose I have really. When those bombs went off in London, you remember there were 4 different bombs that went off?
Yes.
And
yes.
I was meant to be going to visit a client. I worked for a recruitment agency in London in those days. I was meant to be going to visit a client, a banking client, who was in the Aldgate part of London. And I was about to leave to catch my train home in the evening, and the phone rang. And this was still in the day of landlines. So it's going back a bit. I was, oh God, am I going to risk missing my train, or am I going to pick up that phone call? Picked up the phone call, and it was the client cancelling the meeting the next morning. Now, if I had not picked that up, then the client wouldn't have contacted me, been able to get in contact with me probably, although obviously had a mobile. But I probably would have been on the underground and wouldn't have been able to pick up the call, because in those days you couldn't take mobile calls and the underground signal wasn't there.
That's right, yes.
So I would have actually potentially been on the train at Aldgate that was blown up.
You've avoided a lot of bombs.
I've avoided 4 or 5 in my life, actually, yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I missed a couple of IRA ones in London.
Wow.
When I was young.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think I've missed 4 in my life.
Wow.
But certainly, yes. Picking up that phone call potentially saved my life, because I might have been on that tube train that blew up.
Yes.
I
remember that. Yeah, it was awful. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I suppose that's a sort of missing a train that I was meant to catch.
So I think it's about, if we can get out of our own way and actually stay in the flow of everything and trust that any delay that comes is for a very good reason, and that maybe the divine knows better than us and is actually trying to protect us. It's like, for example, with spirit guides or channeling, like Sarah with BM, you know, she has this wonderful protector who I think has probably kept you safe most of your life.
So far.
And
yeah, I mean, it was quite interesting the other day. Somebody said, and I thought this was quite profound. They said, well, there's a reason why you've been spared.
Yes.
So
yes. And we discussed that actually earlier, didn't we? About the very lucky man who survived the Air India crash. That it'll be interesting. It would be interesting, should we find out whether it changes his life dramatically, and he, I don't know, goes into sort of founding charities or doing something that is very altruistic and for humankind.
Yeah, I think that those things do change you. I mean, I think that obviously I'd had some narrow escapes, but I didn't really think about them much. It was the one that I escaped in Bangkok that did make me start to think. And I think at that point I actually changed. I did become less materialistic. I started to think these kind of things don't matter really in the scheme of things. Yes. And that's where I really started to get onto a very different path, I think, after that.
Right.
It really did change my outlook on life dramatically.
Right. We've been joined by Felixina. So she is our sign.
Of what? I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure. Probably of, it's nearly supper time.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just going to run through the little bit of information I found about numbers, because I think it's quite interesting. And as you know, numbers can often figure hugely when we get signs from the universe. So there's 3 numbers which are known as master numbers. There may be more, but I've just got 3 here. 1, which you will know very well, is 11. And this is the visionary. This is intuition, enlightenment, inspiration, spiritual insight. The dark or the shadow side of the number 11 is nervous anxiety, energy, or nervous energy, and overwhelm. And the lesson that can be gained from the number 11 is be a spiritual light, but stay grounded in the physical world, because of course this is where we live. And then we have 22, which is known as the master builder. Are you a master builder?
I'm just looking at what. No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No, that doesn't
Maybe
sound
you're a
like me.
master teacher. I'll just run through. Master builder is mastery, large-scale service, and somebody that builds lasting impact. And the dark side of that would be pressure to achieve, burnout, detachment. I think we've all come across people like this in our lives, haven't we? And this is where one has to try and be a little bit more realistic in one's visions. And then 33 is a master teacher number, and it's about compassion, leadership, unconditional love, and healing. And the dark side is self-neglect, perfectionism, codependency. That's something we haven't talked about, isn't it? Codependency. That is something that is rife through so many relationships. And there's something here about living your truth through selfless service while caring for your own needs too. And that's not always easy. And I'm sure many of you have done this where you put your birth number, where you put your date of birth, your month of birth, and your year of birth, and you break them all down into single digits, and you add them all up, bring them down to a common denominator, and that is your birth number. And I think we did yours, and it was 5, like mine, wasn't it? Or was it 7? No, it was 7.
7 was from my
And
name.
No, 7 was for a birth number.
That's it. And then 5 was
your
from
name number, because with the name you can just write down the alphabet and then put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way through to 26, add them all up, but get them all down to one single number. And then all you have to do is go into ChatGPT or Google, and it will tell you what it means to be a number 5 or a number 7 or a number 1 or a number 3. So that is what we wanted to bring you about numbers, and to just remind you that both words and numbers have vibrations. So the words we speak send out energy. When Sarah and I were discussing this earlier, I was talking about the Florence Scovel Shinn book, which is called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And some of you may know this book. It was written in 1926. And in the first chapter, she talks about Genesis in the Old Testament and how the first verse is, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God." And what she describes is that what we all have to find is the word that means what is meant in the Bible as God, because God as a word has a vibration that will mean that exactly what it means for some people, but for some people it might bring up bad memories or trauma. You know, if you think of some of the things that have gone on in the name of God, you know, it can bring up traumatic situations. So that we have to find the word that resonates for us. For instance, for me, I would rather think of the divine intelligence as being my connection point with that divine energy. So I hope this little introduction helps you a bit. Let's have a look at, life path number. Now, I'm not sure about that. I don't know. Is that the birth number that becomes the life path number? I'm not sure. I'm sure some of you know far more about numerology than we do, and we're very open to learning and finding out more. But I think you might like us to answer some of your questions to give you a sign, potentially.
You can do that.
Poonam, you're seeing crows around you. Yeah, that must be some kind of sign. I mean, crows are... now, which one is it? There's a murder of... Is it crows or ravens?
It's a murder of ravens, I think.
A murder of ravens, and there's something else of crows.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Crows tend to clean up, don't they? Aren't they sort of... I mean,
not sure.
ravens are very protective and they have very good memories.
Well, ravens protect the Tower of London,
that's
don't
right.
they? So
yes.
they're quite
Yes.
quite significant there.
Yes. Yes. Okay, Sinead, it is. So the birth number is your life path number. So I'm a 5 and Sarah is a 7. So there we go. Okay, let's have a look. So what are we asking? Oh, really, Nadia? That's fascinating. So the gentleman that survived the Air India crash was put in room 11 in hospital.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
What an incredible synchronicity.
Mm.
Sinead, you're asking, did your accident happen for a reason? Well, off the top of my head, I would say maybe it could have been worse if circumstances had been different. So sometimes something happens that prevents something worse happening to us, if that makes sense. So Andrew, you're saying the other week a £20 note blew in your way. You lucky person. I think abundance is coming your way. Mystic Road, if you take a piece of wedding cake, wrapped of course, and you dream of who you will marry, and you pop it under your pillow, don't you? That's right. I tried that several times, and I think if I discovered who it was I was going to marry, I probably wouldn't have done it in the first place. But there you go, and here we are. So, right. So let's see. What questions does anyone have that they would like to ask of the pendulum? Of the pendulum.
So we'll just reset it.
Yes.
Pendulum, show me a yes. There we go.
So is that to the
usual,
side?
it
yes.
Is. And please show me a no.
That's back and forwards, isn't it?
Is.
Right.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Let's have a look. Hi, Heidi, Nadia, Cosmic BL. Okay.
So Andrew wants to know, can I ask if I'm on the right path,
okay.
please?
Okay.
Okay, Pendulum. Is Andrew on the right path? That looks like a yes.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. So, anyone else want to ask a question? Mystic Road, you want to know about Doug's energy towards you. In what respect? Because remember, it has to be a yes or no answer. You're welcome, Andrew.
Yeah, so we need all questions to sort of have a yes or no answer. So the pendulum will give a yes or no answer, but sometimes it might just kind of sit there and twitch, which means it doesn't know.
Yes. So, and you've had it sometimes get terribly excited, haven't you?
Gosh, yes, I've had it just go wild, like the wands. It gets all bouncy and excited.
Yes, I know, yes.
Or sometimes it quivers a lot before it answers as well.
Yes.
And I think that's when it's quite excited
the
about
energy,
something.
yes.
It's going, whoa.
Oh, okay, Wishing Pool Tarot. Hello, Wishing Pool Tarot.
Will Doug contact me
you?
Again?
Mystic Road, okay.
Will Doug contact me again? It doesn't know. Look, it's just quivering.
It's not clear.
No.
I think is the answer, Mystic Road.
Yeah.
Wishing Pool Tarot, you want to know if you're stuck for a reason.
Okay. Is Wishing Pool Tarot stuck for a reason? Oh, that's quite a clear yes.
So then you have to try and find out what that reason is.
Yeah.
And Poonam is asking, will your dream home manifest by next year?
Will Poonam's dream home manifest by next year? Yes.
Yes. That's good. Cosmic BL. I like that, Cosmic BL. Dear Pendulum, will the procedures you've undertaken with the government for your daughter have a favourable outcome?
Okay. Let's have a look. Oh, that looks like a definite yes.
Definite yes.
Thank you,
Heidi,
Pendulum.
is your dog Alfie the reincarnation of your dog Paddington?
That would look to be a yes.
Yeah. Wow. How lovely. I think they do find us again, don't you?
Yes, I think that's
I
quite
mean,
common.
you're the cat lady, you're the cat whisperer.
I think that is quite common with animals, actually. People do often feel that the spirit has come back.
Yes.
And particularly if it's been an incredibly happy relationship, then yes, they will try and find a way back if they can.
Yeah. You're welcome, Poonam. Cindy, will your son Taylor give us some good news about getting married this year? Let's see.
Okay. Is Taylor getting married this year? That looks like a yes.
Yeah. Sinead, will what you've been manifesting most of your life come true?
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
Will what Sinead has been manifesting for most of her life come true? Okay, that was uncertain, but now it seems to be saying yes.
So maybe some of it.
Or maybe it'll take a while.
Yes. Okay, so hello, Emily. And Rosie 1111 wants to know if her property is going to sell in 2025.
Will Emily's property sell in 2025?
Seems uncertain.
Yes.
I think in general, practically it's not a great year for trying to move home, because with everything that's going on the planet, people tend to be very cautious when there is such drama being acted out all over the place. So next year, I think, might see things shifting. Certainly from an astrological point of view, I would say next year is a more likely time. But it would depend, as well, it would depend on your own birth chart. And remember, if you do want to have a session with me for natal chart reading and transits, and what's going to be unfolding, what the energies seem to be, please get in touch with me on my website, pennydix.com. And Sarah, do you want to interject as well now?
Yes, I mean, if anyone would like a hypnotherapy session, I cover anything and everything, blocks to success, smoking cessation, weight loss, preoperative hypnosis, just really anything that you may want some help with. And also I facilitate past life regressions and also forward life visualizations, which is
we did that one. It was great.
We did that. So sort of moving somebody forward to 2 years in their life, 5 years in their life, something like that. We're going to lose questions if we don't.
Yes. So Emily, crazy gal, is saying, will the male Gemini contact you again?
Okay.
So will the male Gemini person contact Emily again?
That looks like a no.
Not clear, Emily. It's a sort of tentative no. Yes. Let's see. You're welcome, Heidi. You're welcome, Cindy. Leslie. Hi, Leslie. You wanted to ask if it would be the best time now to change your job. Okay.
Is this the best time for Leslie to change her job? That looks like a yes.
Yeah, saying yes. Sinead, your life is a bit uncertain at the moment. There's a lot of uncertainty around with the astrological energy. And I think it might shift a bit after the solstice next Saturday. So we might see things just shift a bit.
Right.
That's
Cosmic
an interesting
BL.
one.
Was I an airplane pilot in a previous life?
Interesting.
Was Cosmic BL an airline pilot in a previous life? It looks a bit uncertain about that.
Have you had some kind of flashbacks or memories, Cosmic BL? Do you think you were in the, perhaps a pilot in the war, something like that, in the Second World War? I'm just wondering, as a possibility. Wishing Pool Tarot, have you detached your energy from your most recent ex?
Okay.
Has she cut the cord, doesn't it, really?
Okay. That looks to be a yes.
Looks like you've done a good job there. So you've detached yourself.
Yes.
Rosie 1111, you asked my question about selling my property in 2025 with the wrong name. Did I? What? I'm confused now,
Okay,
Rosie.
okay. Will Rosie sell her property in 2025? No, it looks uncertain. I think that was the answer we got last time, actually.
I think it's uncertain. It's uncertain.
Yeah, I think it's just generally uncertain regarding
did
property.
I say Emily? I do apologise, Rosie. My apologies. You're very welcome, Sinead.
Okay, could you work with me mentally regarding my situation, unblock fears? Yes, I can do that. That is one of the things that I do. So we need to sort of identify what the fears might be, and then we can work on unblocking those, and we can work on strategies for sort of moving forward as well. So please contact me at Sarah, which is SARA, no H, at hypnotherapiebysarah.com, or have a look at my website, hypnotherapiebysarah.com. Sarah, SARA, no H, because that confuses people. That continually confuses people.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it confuses people that it's Sarah, not Sarah as well. But I answer to Sarah. So I've just got bored of explaining to people all my life, this bizarre spelling of my name. But actually, I've moved to the right part of the world because that's how people spell the name here.
SARA.
Yeah, with no H. So it's actually quite socially acceptable here.
Yeah.
So I think I'm in the right place finally.
Yeah. You're welcome, Wishing Pool Tarot. And Leslie, you're very welcome. So have we got any more questions?
Oh, sorry, Sinead. I wasn't getting at you for putting an H on my name. I was just saying you find the right website or send the right email, because somebody said, "Oh, your website isn't working," and it turned out that they were doing Hypnotherapy by Sarah with an H on it. So because I was panicking, so going, "What's wrong with my website?"
Yes.
And then I went in, it was perfectly fine. So I just need to sort of reiterate that there isn't an H on my name.
Of course, you can ask another question, Wishing Pool Tarot. Has your most recent ex's still got his energy attached? Oh, right. Has your recent ex still got his energy attached to you?
That looks like a no.
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 I hope that's what you want to hear. So maybe if you've been doing some cutting the cords that bind exercises, they have worked. Oh, Sinead. Sarah. Penny. Okay, so anyone else? Sounds like we're selling something.
It does, doesn't it? Any more bids?
Any more bids?
Going, gone.
Yes. Marie, hello.
Will my financial situation improve?
Right, let's see.
Will Marie's financial situation improve? That looks like a yes.
Yes.
But I think it might be gradual because it wasn't an immediate yes.
No.
So it might take a little while.
And we usually these things don't happen by magic. We have to actually do something. I've found anyway in my life, you have to do something to, for the money to come in, you have to do something. Energy exchange. Hold on. Rosie 1111. No, Penny, you read my name correctly, but Sarah asked with the name Emily. It's okay. Perhaps I'm not meant to know. Ooh.
Okay, hang on. Okay,
we're totally confused now.
We'll try again. Okay. Is Rosie's property going to sell in 2025? Same answer.
So it's always not sure.
Yeah, doesn't know.
Yeah.
So I think generally, I don't think it's the name. I think it's the fact it's a question about property, because we've had questions about property before.
Yes.
That we've asked the pendulum and the wands, and they were always a bit. And when you ask about yours,
when I ask about mine,
weird.
Basically with mine, when I've asked, it's saying probably not this year. Actually, you know what? I don't mind. I go with the flow, and I'll move when I'm meant to move. If I'm meant to move. If I don't, I won't. Rosie, right? Mimi, will you come into some improved finances this year?
Okay. Will Mimi come into some improved finances this year?
It's quivering.
It's quivering, and now it's saying yes. So again, I think that might not be immediate. You might have to take some action to actually achieve that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wishing Pool Tarot, any ideas why he has been in your dreams recently after all the detachment work?
No, not a pendulum question.
No. Well, I guess, the unconscious is a funny thing, and our dream worlds are very interesting. And maybe there are areas of the relationship that still need to be addressed. So even though you may have consciously felt that you have cut the ties that bind with him, and he may think he has done that with you, maybe there is still some karmic entanglement. And the thing is, with anyone that we have any friendship relationship with, whether it's a love relationship or just a friendship, we're always going to be on some level entangled with that person. It all comes down to physics at the end of the day, and there is something called quantum entanglement. And once we have made a connection with a person, it's as if we have some energetic link with them, so that we are able to connect at a distance or read each other at a distance.
Well, apparently, even if you touch somebody, you shake their hand.
Yes.
Or touch them on the shoulder or something like that, then you actually have that
entanglement,
that connection.
That's right. It's just, I always remember, I'm going to name drop now. I was a film extra on the last film that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie did, and it was made in Gozo, and it was supposed to be the south of France. I mean, we just don't look like the south of France, but here we are, and there we go. Anyway, so I met both of them several times and actually acted out some scenes with them, because I was called a featured extra, very exciting and grand. Not really, because most of it ended up on the cutting room floor. However, I shook both of their hands, and I can remember, because I just read this book about quantum entanglement, and I thought, oh my God, I am energetically connected now to Brad Pitt, and I'm energetically connected now to Angelina Jolie forever.
But I think actually this brings us on to a sign, doesn't it? Because I think it's a sign. If you meet somebody and they want to keep touching you in some way, that is a sign, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And that's a sign that they want to be energetically connected to you.
Yes. So, you're welcome, Wishing Pool Tarot. I hope that helps. But yes, you're right, Sarah. That's a very good point. And anyone else? Any more? Because we are finishing in 3 minutes.
Well, shall I ask a question?
Oh, go on, you ask a question. Yes, so then I'll ask one.
Okay. Okay. So we were talking at the beginning about how I needed a sign. So let's see if I am going to get that sign.
Okay.
Am I going to get the sign I need? Yes. Oh, but I don't know how I'm going to get that sign.
But will it be the sign you want?
Will it be the sign I want? Oh, it's quivering a lot.
Ooh.
It's quivering an awful lot. And it's saying yes. Maybe if it all works out, I'll tell you the story, because it's quite an interesting one.
It is. And it's really difficult to not tell it.
It's nearly there. We're nearly over the line.
We're nearly there. Cosmic BL, airplanes. You get unexplicable adrenaline rush, excited seeing them, hearing about acrobatics, received items in connection with aviation without explanation, books so on wings, signs about crashes.
Oh God.
Good God. Gosh.
It's scary.
Well, the easy answer is I don't know. I have no idea. But I actually find we'd love to hear the story, Sarah.
Yeah, but not yet.
No.
Not yet. It's too soon.
Can we tell them we recorded a video, but we're not releasing it yet?
Yeah, it might not be released till next year, in fact, because what will pan out, what BM's predicted, etc., is not going to play out until about this time next year.
Yeah.
So if it all plays out and if things happen as
predicted
by BM, by the astrology, by the pendulum, by the wands, if that all plays out, then it's going to be quite interesting. And we've made a video, we've date stamped it with all the predictions in them, and then I can say, well, look, actually,
we recorded this a year ago,
and look, it's come true.
Yeah.
So I think
we're quite excited about that.
Well, I mean, I think we might go viral with that.
Yes, I know. My God, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think that could be the making of our channel.
Yeah. So watch this space.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen yet? Is your mum helping you in spirit, Sinead?
Okay.
I would say yes, probably, because I think they do. But we can ask, the pendulum.
Is Sinead's mum helping her in spirit? That looks like a yes.
Yeah. I mean, you've channeled my mother a lot, haven't you?
I have.
Really weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. And I mean, this is, I didn't know.
This is when we first met.
It was. And she predicted, well, she told me to tell Penny that the business idea she was thinking about, she should actually activate, because it was going to be a success. At the time, you'd not told anybody about that at all, had
No,
you?
it was the astrology and the YouTube channel.
Yeah. And she said, go for it, have the confidence to go for it and do it.
So I think I probably told you at the time, did I? Did I tell you it was about astrology?
No, you told me that there was something that you were planning, but you didn't say specifically it was about astrology.
Okay.
I mean, you only told me that after I told you what your mother had said.
Right.
But also I went through how Penny's mum had basically
she had a stroke.
Stroke, yeah.
And you lived, you
and I
actually
I went through it, yes, with I've got incredibly low blood pressure, but suddenly I could feel my blood pressure rising. I felt like I was having, I don't know, an aneurysm or something like that. I could actually feel what had happened to her, and it was really, really strange, that feeling of heat coming over me. And
well, me and our mutual friend Lee was sitting, because my friend Lee knew about it. We were sitting there kind of like with our mouths open, because there is just no way Sarah had any. This was like the first time we met Sarah, and this is going back 12 years ago, something like that.
About 10
before you went to Thailand, wasn't it?
Yeah, about 10, 11 years ago.
And my mother, in fact, didn't have a clot. She had a bleed in the brain caused by high blood pressure because of traumatic events that were happening at the time. And so there is no way, because that's quite unusual. Usually strokes are caused by blood clots. So it is.
I could feel it. Yeah, I could feel it kind of in my head, and it was weird feeling. I actually did think I was going to expire on the spot.
We were at St James Sleemer. That's where my mother, when she had the stroke, was in St James Sleemer.
Oh right, so that was actually just down the road from where I was experiencing this.
Yes, I'd had an appendix that went wrong, and I got peritonitis and septicemia, or nearly. It was bordering on septicemia. And my mother was so stressed that she had a stroke. And we ended up in adjacent hospital rooms.
Mind you, they are a bit like
they are a little
bit like hotels.
Hotel rooms.
Here and in Thailand, they're very like hotels, nice fancy hotels. So.
Yes, it was very nice. Yes, and that's when I decided, because I was actually here on holiday with my mum, and that's when we decided to move here. Interestingly, even though we'd been coming to Malta and Gozo for many years for holidays, that's when I said I think we should come and live here, and we did.
So Rose is asking, is my best friend of 45 years my sister from past life, please?
Okay.
So is Rosie's best friend of 45 years her sister from a past life? That looks like a yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you, Sinead. That's really sweet. Thank you.
Oh.
And Sarah, are you setting up a rescue centre in the UK?
No, no. I've not been involved with any rescue in the UK for about, over 15 years. I've not lived in the UK for 15 years. So I'm still supporting the rescue in Thailand, even though I'm not living there. I think, rescue centres in the UK, there are a lot of them, whereas somewhere like Thailand, there's not. So there's a much greater need there. It's not that I'm discriminating against UK animals. I know there are a lot in need, but there's a lot more that charities do over there than they do somewhere like Thailand.
Yeah. So basically, you go where you're needed, don't you?
Don't know about that.
Well, maybe actually the universe guides you to go where you're needed.
Yeah, but I mean, I can still support from here,
from a distance, remotely.
Yes. And actually, I'm still doing my tiny part here. I talked somebody into keeping a cat the other day and giving it a home. So I'm still trying to do my little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's great. So let's see. Prayers for your sign. Oh, brilliant.
Thank you.
She'll get it.
I do hope so.
Oh, you will. You will. I have no doubt. So if that is BM here now, because George is sitting on his chair.
Yes.
I thought he was, because
Yes.
BM went out for a little walk earlier.
Yeah, he had something that frustrated him a bit earlier, so he decided he was just going to go for a nice walk through the fields and appreciate the sunshine and just chill a bit.
Chill pill. So listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back again with another live soon. We will do this again soon, or something similar.
Yes, we might do a predictions one for July predictions.
For July, yes. Yeah. I think we penciled in the 28th, didn't we, of June, which is a Saturday.
Something like that,
yes.
But I think next week we're going to do a past life regression,
I think next weekend we're going to do a past life regression.
We've had a lot of requests for another one. And we're trying to build a chronological history of Penny's past lives. So I think hang on, somebody's come in with another question.
Cosmic BL, will your son have professional success this summer?
Okay. That would be a yes.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent.
There you go. Okay.
Hi, Anne. Don't worry. You can watch it on playback at least. If you've got a question, Anne, tell us quickly before we go. As a cat lady yourself, thank you for saving the strays.
Yeah, I just wish we could save them all.
I've got several rescues, and rescues are the best, aren't they? All of yours are rescue.
Yeah. Hashtag adopt, don't shop. And people who say, "Oh, I want a pedigree cat." Well, I have a British short hair who retail for several $1,000s from breeders, and I have a Siamese, and they were found on the streets.
Yes.
So you do find beautiful pedigrees on the streets, not just your ordinary what people call moggies. Yeah, and supporting breeders is not the way to go. If you saw some of the conditions that we've rescued animals from, you would never touch a breeder again. So,
it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Anne is asking, will she visit her daughter in September?
Okay, will Anne visit her daughter in September? It's not sure.
Not definite yet.
No, it's quivering a bit.
Not definite.
So it's not sure.
She lives outside the country. Okay.
Right.
And Cosmic BL, will you have a dog this year?
Okay, Cosmic BL, will you have a dog this year? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, please go to a rescue centre for one.
Yes.
If you could just help one, that would be amazing.
And this is the last one, which is Manuela. Is your granddaughter a reincarnation of your sister?
Okay, is Manuela's granddaughter a reincarnation of her sister? That looks like a yes.
Wow.
That looks like quite a definite yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Cosmic BL. Of course, rescue. Good.
Yes, it is horrible, Wishing Pool Tarot. She's seen it in Paris when cats are on display and drugged.
Yes, don't get me started on that.
No.
So yeah, I mean, every single animal we can save is a bonus.
You are all so welcome, and thank you so much for all joining us tonight. And remember, I'm doing my live week ahead astrology on my astrology channel tomorrow night, and that's at the same time as this show has gone out. And remember, you can get in touch with Sarah at hypnotherapybysarah.com and myself on pennydix.com, and we'd love to see you. So you've got an
one last question.
One last one.
Will my sister ever get out of her wheelchair?
A bit like getting me out of my comfy chair, isn't it?
Well, I've managed that sometimes. Yes. Nothing's impossible.
No.
It doesn't know.
Doesn't know.
Not sure.
Inconclusive.
Yeah.
I think she has to want to. I mean, I don't know what her problems are. Obviously, that's for you and the doctors to know. But we have to want to. It's like they say with therapy, when you go to see a therapist, you can go and see any therapist in the world, but you've got to want to change. A therapist can't change you. You have to want to change. So on that note, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again soon. And remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. And if you've got any ideas of topics that you would like us to cover, you can always email us and let us know what you would like us to cover. Remember, we cover all sorts of stranger things. So she doesn't know what the problem is. That's a problem in itself, isn't it? Sounds like you start with the psychologist or the psychotherapist and then everything else. Okay, yeah, we're gonna let you go, and have a wonderful day if it's the start of your day, and a wonderful evening if it's the start of your evening. Okay. So from Sarah,
bye from me,
and bye from me. Bye, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you soon. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.